the red pill in particular, like I agree with their diagnosis, but I've always critiqued them because I find that a lot of these men, they just want to use women as emotional punching bags because they're afraid of actual intimacy. And that's what I've come to see. They would rather, compensate with a lot of sexual access. I understand it's fun, there's a face and all that. I get all that.
Yeah.
But a lot of these guys, and I'm not speaking about any individual, but a lot of these guys, the reason why they're into this content is because they want to extend adolescence of high school and they want to like continue that forever without realizing that if men were actually honest, and this is a big thing. Again, I'm all about making people more integrated and wholesome. I'm trying to spread love, brother. If men were more honest, they would admit that what everybody wants, actually, regardless of gender, is affection from the opposite sex and someone they're attracted to.
Yeah.
But all this other new content, it's just about trying to pile on
Too much
low
hate
IQ.
and divide.
They specifically bring on really stupid girls. It's just like it gets so old. You know what I mean?
I did one of those panels and it was so embarrassing. I think like 2 of them, I'm never doing it again. It's just like they bring the dumbest women. It's just like I love women. I think women are great for the most part.
I love women too, and people think I don't because I talk about feminism, but I love women.
But the thing is, if you're a strong man that leads, most girls are going to follow you. So when these guys are constantly talking about how bad girls are, they need to look at themselves a little bit, maybe. And of course, there are bad girls out there for sure. There's trashy women that you want no part of.
Yeah, but you just stay away from them.
Exactly. You have to also I guess you have to also know how to judge character. You can't just be like, oh my God, this chick's hot, I need to girlfriend her up. You got to look at girls if they're trashy, get away from them. But there's plenty of good girls out there. They're going to follow the man's lead.
Yeah, we need more of that because what you just said is it's an antidote. It's bringing it together. So I agree with the red pill diagnosis.
Yeah, so they have good points, but
yeah. But I don't agree with their solution because their solution basically is kind of hypocritical because these guys talking about social cohesion, family values, they tell women to do that, but at the same time, they're encouraging other men to never commit. Yeah. And it's like, and just basically be a playboy forever. That's contradictory. And as a man, you should be consistent. So that's kind of my issue.
Yeah, we're a big part of the problem. And when I was younger, I fell into that culture. When I first hit fame and money, it's easy to get sucked into that. But then you realize how empty it is. You're sleeping with girls with no attachment. It's just like, you start feeling like empty inside, and you realize like having love and affection.
I've always personally just thought it was overrated. And because when I was doing my art show, I told you there was like 150 people, one exhibition a month. Half of them are beautiful women, and I don't know. It's like for me, it's like it's if there's no romance in there,
it's not. Yeah,
that's for me though. Maybe you guys will be like, okay, maybe that's a cerebratonic East Asian thing.
I think you're 100% right.
Too much
I think
Netflix
what happened
watching,
is, maybe I was younger, I was poor, didn't get much girls, grew up with like not being able to talk to girls, and all of a sudden there's so easy and they're beautiful. I felt like I had to do it because everyone expected me to do it. Then you realize how empty it is. There's no emotional attachment.
And I will say to co-sign a little bit of your perspective, this is important. I think it is important to be a man that women are attracted to. But personally, for me, like my DMs are pretty full. I'm happy. That's enough. I don't even need a gallivant. Like to me, that is enough. But I don't want to get lost in that sauce because I don't think it's good for my soul.
No, it's not. Someone who's been there, and like some good friends with Dan Blazarian. I saw him. We talked about personally, but I saw him the other day in an interview. He said just like any addiction is what happens is, at first it feels great, then you need double the amount, and then more. Then if you don't get that addiction, you start feeling like you're losing yourself. And that can happen with anything, whether it's sex, drugs. You just need to chase more and more for a high. So it's still not a good addition. There's probably worse addictions to have than that one.
You're just getting more numb.
Yeah, and then you're just like, oh, I need another girl. It becomes like an addiction. Like, it can get out of control if you get fame. I mean, someone like you has status. It's like, it can just become so easy if you have some kind of fame when you're like, what am I doing? This is not healthy.
Yeah. And also like, I don't know, maybe for me, a North Star is a very, I've always said, whether people are conscious of it or not, we are all incredibly aesthetic creatures. Like every person, yourself, me, we all have like this image in our mind that's picturesque that we're walking towards. For some people, it's that white picket fence with the family. For some people, it's having the freedom to just make art all day, which is mine for a while. I was in monk mode for a long time. It's different for every person, but my North Star is very benevolent. It's very wholesome. I revere that so high, and I'm trying to heal the world, man. Like as much as I can go way more viral and get more views by being an animosity agent.
Yeah.
Like that gets views, sure.
Yeah.
Like ultimately I want people to, become more biochemically healthy, integrated, and connected with high culture.
Yeah, healthy mentally, physically, it's all connected.
Yeah, that's what I want more than anything, man.